Number 5 is adjectival phrase. An adjectival phrase is a group of words that function as an adjective in a sentence. That is very straightforward. It modifies or describes a noun or pronoun. That is the function of adjectival phrase. Once you see an adjectival phrase in a sentence, the function is that it qualifies or modifies the noun or pronoun. As you know that adjective qualifies noun or pronoun, the same thing applicable to adjectival phrase. Adjectival phrase qualifies noun or pronoun. Now, how do we identify adjectival phrase in a sentence? In other words, what are the forms of adjectival phrase? I like to mention two things that can make us easily identify adjectival phrase in a sentence. The first one is intensifier plus adjective. Intensifier like very, so, extremely, quite, rather, highly. All those words that we use to intensify. Once we have them, any of them plus adjective, they are together, so they form our adjectival phrase. For instance, the highly respected teacher retired yesterday. Highly respected, highly intensifier, respected is an adjective. Highly plus respected, intensifier plus adjective forms our adjectival phrase. So that is how we can easily identify our adjectival phrase in a sentence. The second form I like to state for adjectival phrase is adjective plus complement. We have adjective, then we have some group of words that attach to that adjective to form our phrase. That means adjectival phrase. For instance, he is sad about the news. Sad is an adjective, but about the news is attached to sad. So that is why it is called adjectival phrase, because if only sad is underlined, it is just an adjective. But now we have about the news, sad about the news, that is adjectival phrase, because it makes it becomes a group of words without finite verb added by the adjective. Same thing applicable to number 2, happy about the results is an adjectival phrase. Proud of a success is also adjectival phrase. Interested in music. Have you seen that all these examples, they started with adjective, and we have some complements without finite verb. That makes them to be called adjectival phrase. And once we know that this is an adjectival phrase, the function is that adjectival phrase, it describes noun or pronoun as the adjective does. Adjective qualifies noun or pronoun. The same thing, adjectival phrase also qualifies noun or pronoun. Number 6 is adverbial phrase. An adverbial phrase is a group of words that function as an adverb in a sentence. So adverb, adverb modifies verb, adjective, or another adverb. The same thing is adverbial phrase. It performs the same function as that. Adverbial phrase modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. So to show how, when, where, why, or what extent an action happens. So how do we identify our adverbial phrase? It's very easy. Intensifier plus adverb. Once we have our intensifier plus adverb, we have our adverbial phrase. For instance, she spoke very quickly. Very is intensifier. Quickly is adverb to show how. The baby cried so loudly. So is intensifier and loudly is adverb. Intensifier plus adverb forms our adverbial phrase. Musa answered the questions very carefully. Carefully is adverb and very is intensifier. Intensifier plus adverb forms our adverbial phrase. So once you know that this is adverbial phrase, the function is that it modifies the verb in there. So it means that Musa answered the questions very carefully. Grammatical name, very carefully, adverbial phrase. Grammatical functions, it modify the verb answer. Number 7, infinitival phrase. Another type of phrase is infinitival phrase. And an infinitival phrase is a group of words that begin with to plus base form of verb and include its complements or modifiers. What do we mean? What means that whenever the time you see to plus a verb, that is infinitive. To plus a verb, to go, to eat, to dance, to pass, and so on and so forth. Those are infinitive. If it is to plus now, that is something else. But here now, you see preposition to, and you see verb after that to, and both of them are underlined, so that is infinitive. So once you see this infinitive or infinitival phrase, so it has the three different functions that it performs. It is not as straightforward as others that we have explained before. Functions of an infinitival phrase. In a sentence, an infinitival phrase may function as a noun. It means, number one of the very first function of infinitival phrase, you have known how to identify infinitive to plus verb, and sometimes some other complements. For instance, to pass the exam. So we can see to go is infinitival, to eat, to answer the question correctly. All those ones are infinitival phrase. So the first function, it can serve as a noun. Infinitival phrase can serve as a noun. I will bring those examples. So if it functions as a noun, what does that mean? It means that it can serve as a subject of the verb, it can serve as the object of the verb, it can serve as a positive element, it can serve as prepositional complements. All those functions that noun performs. That's number one that infinitival phrase can serve as. Number two, it can serve as an adjective. It means that it can also qualify a noun. Infinitival phrase, the second function is that it can also function as an adjective that can qualify a noun. And the third function is that it can serve as an adverb that will be qualifying or modifying a verb or adjective. The first examples are where infinitival phrase performs the same function of a noun. So it means that it's used as a noun. To study hard, there is the subject of the sentence. To study hard is important. Number two, subject, decided, action verb, to travel there, it means that it's an object, because after action verb comes and the object. They advised him. They, subject, advised, action verb, him is the object. To work hard, what is he doing in this? We advise him to work hard. That means that to work hard complements the object, him. So it means that it can function as the same thing applicable to letters. Number 6, the gas is about to explode. To explode, it comes after preposition, and anything that comes, any nominal entity. When we were mentioning nominal entity, we mentioned infinitival phrase as part of a nominal entity. So any nominal entity that comes after preposition is complementing that preposition. That's why we call to explode. The gas is about. About is preposition. To explode complements the preposition about. That's why we call it prepositional complement. In these examples, have you seen that infinitival phrase performs the same function of a noun, subject, object, appositive, prepositional complement, and so on and so forth? That's one of the first function. Another function that the infinitival phrase performs, as we stated earlier, is that it can serve as an adjective. It means that it can qualify a noun or pronoun. I have a book. Which book? To read. It means that to read it modifies the book. So the book is a noun. It's to read modifies the noun a book. She needs a pen. Which pen? To write with. To write with explained the noun a pen. We found a house to rent. We found a house. Which house? A house to rent. To rent qualifies or modifies a noun. The noun to a house. So it means that here in these examples, infinitival phrase function as an adjective because it qualifies a noun, and the infinitival phrase as an adverb, that is the third function of infinitival phrase. He studied hard. He studies hard to pass the exam. It modifies the verb studies. To pass the exam, it modifies the verb studies. So, and what modifies verb is an adverb. So it means that this is an adverb. She went to the market. Why? To buy food. So it means that to buy food is infinitive phrase in the grammatical name, and the function, it modifies the verb went to tell us the reason. Musa came early to meet the teacher. To meet the teacher modifies the verb came. It modifies the verb came, and anything that modifies the verb is adverb. So it means that to meet the teacher there function as adverb, and it is infinitive phrase. So basically, infinitive phrase can serve as a noun. It means that it can occupy the positions that noun occupies. It can serve as an adjective. The last type of phrase that we are going to examine is prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase is a group of words that begin with a preposition and end with the object of the preposition. So what do I mean? No, when we were explaining functions of noun, I stated that one of the functions that noun perform is a prepositional complement. And we have prepositional complement when we have a preposition and some nominal entity, but the preposition is not underlined with those complements. For instance, in the classroom, they write in the classroom and they underlined only the classroom. They live in without underlining it in that sentence. So it means that in that sentence, the classroom is complementing the preposition in. That's what we call the class in the class. We call the class as prepositional complement. But once the preposition is underlined and it becomes in the classroom, that's when we have prepositional phrase. On the table, prepositional phrase. At the market, prepositional phrase. During the match, prepositional phrase. All these ones are called prepositional phrase because prepositions are being underlined, are being mentioned with with its complement. But once the prepositional is left out without underlining it, whatever the nominal entity that is being underlined without preposition is complementing that preposition. Try to understand the difference between the two. Between when the preposition is underlined alongside the complement, that's the prepositional phrase, but once it is not underlined, it complements those ones that are underlined are complementing the preposition. For instance, at the market, they underlined at the market, prepositional phrase, but they underlined only the market and they do not underline at. That is, it means that the market is prepositional complement. So we have prepositional complement when the preposition is not underlined. After knowing the prepositional phrase and how to identify prepositional phrase in a sentence, the next thing is what are the functions of prepositional phrase in a sentence. Basically, I state here two functions that the prepositional phrase performs in a sentence. The first one is it serves as an adjective, and number two, it functions as an adverb. These are the examples. Number one, these are the examples that when a prepositional phrase functions as an adjective. Examples: the boy in the classroom is ready. In the classroom. In the classroom. Grammatical name, prepositional phrase. Grammatical function, it qualifies the noun boy or the noun phrase the boy. The man beside the river is fishing. Which man? Beside the river. Have you seen that beside the river qualifies the man? So it functions as an adjective because adjective qualifies a noun or pronoun, and the man is the noun or the noun phrase, the man noun phrase or man the noun. Both of them are correct. And number three, the books on the table belongs to me. On the table describes the book, and the books is a noun phrase. So it means that these examples, prepositional phrase here functions as an adjective because it qualifies those nouns. Number 2, prepositional phrase functioning as adverb. So it can also function as an adverb, and these are the examples. Number 1, the students are studying in the classroom. In the classroom, grammatical name, prepositional phrase. Grammatical function, it modifies the verb studying. Musa slept on the chair. On the chair is a prepositional phrase and it modifies the verb slept. They arrived after the meeting, modifies the verb arrived. So it means prepositional phrase can function as adjective and it can function as an adverb. These are the basic functions of a prepositional phrase.